Welcome back to Andertons TV, everybody. I am Lee.
Hello, MP. Hello. Hey.
He is.
Yes, I am. You are.
Right, it's a new amp day from the lovely people at Boss.
Look at this.
So yes, look at this. This, you may remember, was a little desktop amplifier that they released a few years ago. It's been super, super popular, called the Katana Air. It has all the things you love about Katana in a teeny weeny little desktop box and comes with a wireless transmitter.
It's been in the gym. It's been on the steroids, on the roids. It's bulked up.
Absolutely. So now we have Katana EX. Katana Air EX even. EX meaning extra or something, who knows. And as you can see, it is bigger. So let me tell you about what's the same and what's different.
Before we do that, please like and subscribe. I have to do this every time. You forget, like and subscribe. Every 10,000 new subscriber, we give away something. Links below, and when we hit 1 million, you give away a free clon, a real free clon.
Not all of you.
Not all of you, just one
of you.
Yeah, a million free clones. You better get soldering.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fine. Okay. So the basic operating system of the two amplifiers is the same. So the app is the same. The knobs and buttons are the same. However, you can see that the new one is in a wooden case rather than an injection molded one. Features a pair of 5-inch speakers as opposed to 3-inch speakers, 3-inch speakers even. And as you can see, the overall size of it is, I don't know, what, 50% bigger? It's quite a lot bigger, right? Not only is it slightly wider and taller, it's deeper as well, which hopefully you can see on our overhead cam. Big one comes with a 35-watt amplifier. The smaller one was 30 watts if it was plugged into the mains, 20 watts if you were using it on batteries. The bigger one now, they both come with the power supply you need from day one. The bigger one can be run either on the mains or on normal AA batteries, or you can buy an optional extra, I can't even speak, an optional extra rechargeable battery pack that you buy. And I'll put, again, there'll be links below and links on the product page for this. I know I said the app is the same, and it will be the same, or it is the same. We're going to go through that in a minute on this little iPad here. It is actually being updated, the app. We're shooting this video about a week before this comes out. We've been promised that on the day this comes out, the new updated app will be available for all of you to go and update for free if you've got a pre-existing Katana Air. So the new features are now the ability to run delay and reverb simultaneously. The layout of the app is slightly more intuitive, but the big new feature is session mode, which is the feature they took from their little Pocket GT thing. So now you can load in audio or videos, YouTube videos, right, which is cool, and slow them down and create loops within those videos. So if you want to see a certain part of the video over and over again, perhaps at a slower speed, you can do that within the app. The bigger one has, we're nearly there by the way, and then you can just get onto hearing it. The bigger one has emulated stereo line outputs. And actually I think we always struggle to mic this kind of amp up. It's very much, you need to be in the room to actually, so even when we've mic'd this up using close mics and room mics and everything, I always listen to them back and go, still didn't sound quite as good as it sounded in the room.
It's a design sound, you know, it's the design.
I think so much of this technology utilizes the sort of speaker systems that you'd get in sort of sound bars and stuff, so it's next to impossible to mic up. So we're using some room mics, but you've got the emulated outputs now on this, which you'd never had on the smaller one, and you'll be able to, you'll be hearing a lot of the demo just through those. USB on both. We're going to talk about a foot switch that you can use with either. Both are wireless ready, so they come with the bug that you need, the transmitter.
Which charges when you plug it in.
That's what I really like about this. I've got the Katana headphones, and you have to separately USB charge the transmitter as well as the...
I wish it came with a cable. I think it doesn't come with a cable in that, does it?
Doesn't come with the double cable either. But yeah, so Katana Air is great. You just plug it in, you leave it. And I think, Mr. Pete, you'll be pleased to know that is the lot.
All right then, see you later. Thanks for watching.
So let's just run through our 5 basic preamp tones on here, and what we will do again is we'll compare the sort of the the bigger cabinet does to the tone. Just while we mention that whole kind of thing about maybe how miking this type of amp up is tough to do, I'm just going to put you on that just for this one sound, the crunch sound, and here's what the mics sound like. So we've got a pair of microphones up here, great quality microphones. You're probably going to hear maybe even a bit of a lapel mics, but here's a room sound. And now just the same settings and the same sort of playing, but just hearing the direct outputs from the back. I would say before we go back into talking about features on the amplifiers, generally speaking, I think the room miking of this type of product makes it sound excessively boomy sometimes and just not as, I don't know, it just doesn't sound as in the room.
I know.
It's hard to explain, but anyway.
It's a good looking thing. It's handsome.
Looking. Leather,
it's
like a sort of a leather, faux leather. I'm not
Yeah.
sure for all you vegetarians out there.
I'll be fair.
I imagine it's faux, like a spray on even. Is that where you put your, that's what the little strip is for, is it down there? We've got this nice grill cloth on the front rather than this sort of pressed metal.
Oh yes.
Yeah, look, it does. Beautiful handle, lovely, or maybe that's leather. Ooh, that's it.
I don't think so.
Don't think so. Pleather. Anyway, yeah, it's a great looking thing. My gut feeling, Pete and I were talking about this. Pete was sort of saying he travels with this a lot, you know, chucks it in his suitcase, whatever. And you probably still would want something slightly smaller to do this. This, I kind of feel, would be like a permanent fixture in your living room or in your office or
if
whatever.
you're allowed.
Like yeah, and it looks cool.
It looks great, man. I think the look is nice.
Yeah. Let's have a listen.
So there's two patches on here. Channel 1, Channel B, and then there's the panel which
Channel 1 and Channel B.
Channel A and Channel what? Channel 1 and Channel B, yeah. I was reading it. It says Channel A, Channel B, Channel 1, Channel 2. Or Channel 1 and Channel B. You can do whatever you want. And then it's got the panel here mode, so you just little switches.
Let's put it to panel mode then. And
yeah, let's go to panel mode.
What you see is what you get.
And then what you see is what you get. Jesus Christ.
It's what, just in case you didn't hear that, it's what you see is what you get. Right. Come on then. So
what you see is what you see.
No effects, just some reverb on our clean mode.
Allow myself to introduce myself. It sounds really great, man. It's always sounded great.
How do you want to do do you want to kind of hear what this sounds like with the same settings as that as we go along, or just go through the 5 of these?
I thought we should do this first and then do a little comparison at the end, perhaps.
Right, so moving on to our crunch mode now, with a little, perhaps turn the gain up like 1 o'clock.
Okay, and in case you haven't seen one of these before, you got the amp type, gain, volume, bass, middle, treble, then you got boost and mod mode here. Selectable with the switch, delay, mod. You got delay and effects, and then reverb and master, and you can do all that from the apps. Then you got the panel thing over here, Bluetooth and your on and off switch, headphones, input for normal jack cable, and chargeable up there. Okay, here's the
get crunchy.
Wow, that sounds great. You know what I really like about the Katana?
What's that?
It's its simplicity. It's not like I have a million amps and a million this and a million that. The only thing I wish it has, and you know this, is the looper built in with it. But it's the simplicity of it. Like the Yamaha T8R, it's just so simple.
I think that Again,
that's what I really
I know
like
what you guys are all asking for now is an updated shootout of all these desktop amplifiers. There's such a huge category of product. You know what? 10 years ago, it was Yamaha THR. That was it.
Yeah.
Now it's Yamaha and Boss and Positive Grid and Nuex and even Vox and
Moore
Fender do theirs. So we need to do an updated one.
Yeah.
But I think, generally speaking, Pete's absolutely right there that the Boss and the Yamaha one are quite simplistic to use and rely maybe more on a just great tone and easy to use.
Yeah.
Positive Grid is a crazy expansive app with tons and tons of features on it that may or may not be your thing. Nuex is an interesting one that lobs the looper hand grenade in there, which
and
is
some
a
drums
and cool feature.
And with the thing.
But anyway, look, let's stick to Boss for now.
Yeah.
So lead mode.
Lead mode. We've got a bit more. It sounds great, man.
We're just in panel mode, right? So we're just leaving the EQ flat. And then finally, Brown Sound, Eddie's Revenge.
Can never play that one. I really enjoy this. It feels really nice.
Good.
It sounds really good. I'm playing this an NF53 PRS. What did we say it was NF stood for?
Not Fender. No, although it wasn't that. It was
it's near field, isn't it? The pickups, but was it? There's a conspiracy theories out there.
Now, one of the nice things about Katana, and again, probably say the same about THR, whatever, that you can entirely choose never to use the app if you don't want to, and you're really still going to get 90% of the enjoyment out of the amplifier. Here's the editor. It's currently, if you go to the top now, it's showing me that I'm in the channel A green mode, and if I press that, there you can see the other patches that are stored. I'm going to go
and it's switching on here as well, if you can see on the overhead cams.
Okay. So on panel mode now, you're basically seeing the different settings. So I can change the, we didn't even mention the acoustic and bass mode on here.
But because nobody cares.
Because nobody cares.
No, it's really good for acoustic as well.
Yeah,
I really like
and
that.
bass.
And bass.
So
for bass.
If I go across this selection of effects here, you can see the boost mode with modulation, delay, and effects. Then you've got the reverb, you've got the chain of the effects that I can adjust. And you can see now that some of these, some of the layout and the descriptions of the type of effect that's being used are more obvious to see from here. So you can see from here, if I, for example, wanted to adjust where it says T-Scream, I press the edit above it, I can switch it on or off there. I can choose a different distortion from here if I wanted to, and then I can adjust the various settings on there. We mentioned before that one of the new features here was the fact that I can have delay and reverb on at the same time. To do that, I'm going to go over to this reverb presence here, and you can see on the side here, I've got the choice now, or I can elect to have both delay, depending on what type of delay that I want, and I can have reverb, and again, depending on the type of reverb, and I can actually have them on at the same time, which I couldn't do before. Session mode, there's nothing preloaded into this at the moment, so you just have to sort of use your imagination. This is where you would see your videos or your audio track in here, and again, this is where you would make the loops to get them to go round and round. Librarian is your where you can back up and save way more presets than you can save internally on the actual Katana. Tone Central is where you share your patches or download extra ones, and System is where all the boring user settings are, so we're not going to go into all that. But that, ladies and gents, is a quick swizz through the new app.
Can I just ask, is there an EQ in there as well? The EQ? There's an EQ in there? Global EQ, that's great. And
Global EQ in the settings mode, there you are.
Nice one. Is there a presence in there as well, or is it not? Because I know then some on the
Well, it
Katana
says here
50.
reverb presence, so there's. I presume that's present. That's
Amazing. So
that's
that's an
not the
extra.
presence on the reverb. That's just presence.
Exactly. But that's an extra thing that you don't get on the top of this, so which is really cool.
I see.
So you don't get it as a knob, but you get it as a feature, which is really good.
Okay, another optional extra for either of these products, in fact this works with tons of different devices, but is the FS1WL, which is a completely wireless and controllable foot switch. So 3 buttons on here, and actually in the app you can decide what you want those buttons to do. So they might be preset recalls, or up and down through presets. They might turn certain effects on and off. It's kind of up to you. This is completely wireless, can sit on the floor, runs on batteries or a power supply, but of course if you use a power supply it's no longer wireless at that point.
What else have you got on there?
Loads of stuff on the back. Yeah. You can expand this, add extra foot switches into this, an expression pedal into this.
Cool.
You can use this to control keyboard functions. So if you're watching something on YouTube and you need both hands for some other reason, you could use the foot switch to start.
I'm thinking, I was just about to say, can you use it for phone hop?
Probably.
Anyway,
that's an optional extra. That's a cool thing to have with either of these.
I think that's
products.
epic. That's really, really cool, man. That's a great idea.
Okay, so we're going to compare how each one sounds now, just very quickly. I'm going to use the cable rather than using the transmitters, because obviously it's a separate transmitter for each device. So we'll go panel mode, we'll go all the EQ and everything on 12 o'clock, even the gain. It's not necessarily the most optimized setting for each one, but at least it's the same.
And then
a little bit of reverb, so we're on the green reverb, and I've got it at 9 o'clock. You're on the green reverb at 9 o'clock.
Take it at 10 o'clock.
We'll go 10 o'clock. Okay. I'm going to start with clean. I'm going to start with the
normal
Katana Air. I don't know what we're going to have to do with volume. And let's leave volume at 12 o'clock. And if one sounds louder than the other, that's because it is.
I have to just say before I play, it just feels really nice. There's a great feel with it. I always thought that about the Katana.
But that's Katana all the way through. The whole everything
just,
Katana just has a nice natural feel to it.
They just got it down.
Yeah.
Nice. As you would expect, it sounds bigger and nicer.
It sounds way less boxy, doesn't it?
I prefer this one, but that you would do because it's bigger speakers.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to say the world's stupidest thing now, but that sounds like a guitar amplifier. That sounds like a little plastic box trying to be a guitar amplifier. But let's go.
I mean,
crunch.
It still doesn't sound bad. Because you got the X in the room. You know, it's been on the.
Let's go.
On the Royce,
what it didn't, surprisingly, was I didn't think that one sounded any louder than that one.
I just sounded just because bigger. I'm closer to that and you're closer to the other one.
Okay, crunch.
That's on the neck pickup.
Crunch.
Plug it back in there, so just got the back pickup quick. Huge difference.
Wow. Currently this is murdering this one. Lead. Come on, Katana Air.
Let's do it.
You want that? Was that back pickup? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, back pickup.
Hold on. Lead.
Sounds great, man. It's just like, you're right, it just sounds like a more grown-up amplifier.
If I didn't know these were the same basic amps, just with different speakers and different cabinets, like type thing, I'd be like, this is two completely different products.
Can I just point something out when you say that? Yep. This is why, when you buy a head, you buy the matching cab. You go, I've got a cab at home with the blah, blah, blah. No, just buy the right one that is made for it.
Good speaker cab.
This is so important.
Come on, brown sound.
Brown sound.
Well, look,
sounds great, man. Sorry, I was trying to create an elephant noise.
I suppose, like I said at the beginning of that, I could try and optimize these patches. We could use the global EQ in the app, which we aren't currently on this.
Yeah.
I don't have to have everything flat.
Go back to the crunch and just turn up everything a bit.
What, just
and then we go back.
Yeah.
I just want a bit more level out of it, because I think it's just... Because it doesn't sound bad, it's just it sounds great, but it's just loud. A bit more volume. Okay. It's got the same essential sound, but it's just bigger and fatter and juicier.
You can't make bass end where it doesn't
exist.
Where, if that's just the bass end that these speakers and this type of enclosure can produce, that's what
you can't, if you don't have a personality, you can't get one. It's just over. It's just done for you. So
there we go. I don't think I mentioned the price. At the moment, you're paying about 400 quid for one of these. This, when it launches, I think it's going to be £550. Again, I know I've said this a couple of times already. The great thing with Katana is it includes the transmitter and the power supply.
I really like this, man. That's a great upgrade. Again, for traveling, that's fine, because I think once you get used to a sound, you know what I mean? When we do the videos on IRs, and you keep sweeping through your IRs, you need a bit of time to get used to the IR. But this is great. That's great. This is greater. I mean,
I don't have one of these, but I think if I did have one of these and I'd just seen this video, this would be going on eBay and I'd be getting one of these. I just think it sounds great.
Unless you want to travel with it, that's the thing.
Well,
if you've got it at home, you upgrade to that, absolutely. And it looks great. It looks great. It's enough. It sits there in your office or your living room.
I really want to do the shootout. I really want to really want to know, which do I like the best out of this and all the other. Yeah,
it's the low end and the top. I mean, again,
sounds great.
Again, I wished it had a looper in it.
I wonder how expensive this category of product will go. Because you remember Bad Cat had a go, didn't they, last year? And I kind of feel like, I think this will end up being something that all like Mesa Boogie and they'll just be like, do you want a little desktop amplifier? It's £3,000 if that's the one that you want. A bit like Bluetooth. Like there are some brands that just go insanely expensive little Bluetooth players.
And inside you open up, it's all the same stuff.
Probably.
Like there's all Bang & Olufsen, inside them. And it's the same
because I think it needs to. I think this category of product is just because you want something small for at home doesn't mean you want amazing tone and something really expensive. I'm just saying.
But you need something good to plug if you've got a $3,000 PRS or a $7,000 Les Paul and stuff, you want something good with it. And this is just it's built amazing. It's going to last through an Oppenheimer scenario, But
will it last through a Barbie scenario? I'm not so sure.
I watched Barbie.
Did you?
I did. I loved it. Did you see that there's something called the Kenner pause? We go through a Kenner pause, there's a new... Yeah.
I've surely gone through it already.
When you're like this and all of a sudden, I'm doing this, I'm a man. That's like the Kenner pause, apparently. But
wow.
I loved it. I want to watch it again, the Barbie thing. Nothing in that film is CGI as well.
I don't care.
I used to go back on my pills, shouldn't I, really? I think that's the problem. Thank you very much for watching.
See you next time.
Links below. Love you, bye.